Hi everyone, today we're going to dive into the fantastic world of Microsoft Excel. But we're not just going to scratch the surface, we're going to explore the hidden depths of Excel that can make your life so much easier. Yes, I'm talking about the shortcuts. These nifty little tricks can help you navigate your way through Excel like a pro, making your tasks more quicker and more efficient. Today, we'll be covering everything from the basics to the more advanced stuff, so whenever you are an Excel beginner or seasoned user, stick around because I know and I'm sure that you will learn something new. So, wait, let's jump right in and discover the power of Excel shortcuts. Ready, set, Excel. Click anywhere inside your dataset. Use Ctrl-Shift-Alt to add a filter to this. And then you can go about using the usual filter options, filter for names, press enter, that's my list. To deactivate the filter, click inside the dataset, Ctrl-Shift-Alt takes it away. It's a toggle, Ctrl-Shift-Alt puts it back, Ctrl-Shift-Alt takes it away. Click anywhere inside the dataset and press Ctrl-T. The table has headers. Click on OK. The Cite tab is activated. You have a lot more table options. You can decide on the style you want, you can add the total row to this, summarize with a pivot table, or remove duplicates. Now, there are many more advantages to tables. If for some reason you want to convert this back to a range, just click on Convert to Range. To jump from one side of your dataset to the bottom, use Ctrl down arrow. To jump to the right, Ctrl right arrow. To jump to the left, Ctrl left arrow. Jump back up, Ctrl up arrow. This is much faster than using the scroll bar. Now, if you want to jump to the bottom but highlight everything in between, use Ctrl Shift down. Ctrl Shift right arrow highlights everything on the right side. I can click on the Home tab to take me to the top of the dataset. So if I had some text here and I use Ctrl Shift right arrow, it highlights everything there. It doesn't jump to D because D is in fact empty. This information is sitting in E. If I wanted to format all of this, I'm gonna use Ctrl Shift down arrow to highlight them. Ctrl 1, which takes me to the Format Cells options. I can decide on my formatting and press enter. If I'm not choosing an Excel table and I want to add a sum to this, just click on the cell below or above your dataset. Use Alt =. That automatically inputs the sum function for you, and it tries to figure out the range that you probably want to sum. So, in this case, it has correctly figured it out. If I had a number here, and I use AutoSum here, it thinks that I want to add these two values and press enter. So, it is quite smart in trying to figure out what you want to sum. If you want to copy-paste your formula, but you want to have your numbers as hard-coded, so you want to paste it as values without the formula behind this, you need this shortcut. So first, Ctrl-C to copy, and then Alt-ESV to bring up to paste a special dialog box. All you have to do now is press enter, and you've pasted it as values. Now, you notice it's a difficult one to remember. The way I remember it is, it's some vitamins, ESV. You just have to figure out something that works for you. To add a new line inside a cell, use Alt-Enter. So, you have to be in edit mode because if you press enter here, it just moves down one cell. To move down a line inside a cell, press Alt-Enter. And now, you can input your text and you can adjust the formatting as you like. To select the entire data in the current region, click anywhere inside your dataset and press Ctrl-A. Once your dataset is highlighted, to insert a default chart, click Alt-F1. The next one is a great one. Let's say you want to add email addresses to this, and you want to repeat this pattern for the next ones. It should be james.williard and so on. I'm going to hold down the Shift key and the down arrow key to highlight this area. And then I'm going to press Ctrl-E. That's Flash Fill Magic. It tries to figure out the correct pattern based on the pattern that I gave it first. In this case, I just give it one option and it figured it out correctly. Sometimes for flash fill to work properly, you might need to give it more sample data. To highlight an entire row, use Shift Space. To highlight an entire column, use Control Space. To insert a new row or column, use Control Plus. This brings up the Insert dialog box. You can select Insert an entire row, entire column, but because we already learned a shortcut before this, we're gonna use that first. So, let's say I want to insert an entire column. I'm gonna highlight the whole column. What was the shortcut key? Control Space, Control Plus. That automatically is gonna add a column. It's not gonna ask you if you want a row or a column. Now, let's repeat for the row. Shift Space, insert for a new row, Control Plus. To remove an entire row, Control minus. To remove an entire column, Control minus. But if you want to avoid the dialog box, we're gonna highlight the entire column first, and then we're gonna do Control minus. If you want to drag an entire row and drop it somewhere else, let's say I want to move Richard Elliott in between Robert and Paul. What I'm gonna do is highlight the entire row. Now, if I drag this and let it go, it's gonna try to replace this data, but I don't want it to replace it. I want to actually put it in between those two. So here you drag it, but while you're dragging it, you're gonna hold down the Shift key and that's gonna insert it between those two. To hide a column, use Control 0, and to hide an entire row, use Control 9. When I first receive a new workbook from someone else, I want to check if anything has been hidden in there or not. The shortcut key I use is Alt-semicolon. That highlights the visible cells only, and this way I get a visual indication that some rows and columns have been hidden. If nothing comes up, nothing is highlighted. It means that no rows or columns have been hidden. Now, let's say I've updated this information here. I want to add a timestamp to this. I'm going to use the shortcut key Control-semicolon. And if I want to add the time to it, I'm going to add a space and use Control-colon and press Enter. One bonus tip: when I receive a new file and I want to highlight all the content in that file, I press F5, Alt-S, O, X, then Enter. This highlights all the numbers that don't have formulas behind them. So here, I can see this has a formula behind it. So that's all for this video, and I hope that you learned something today about the 20 Excel shortcuts. Again, I am Garcia from Bachelor of Science in Management Accounting to -1.